Now Enoch, the seventh from Adam, prophesied about these men also, saying, Behold, the Lord comes with 10,000s of his saints, to execute judgment on all, to convict all who are ungodly among them of all their ungodly deeds which they have committed in an ungodly way, and of all the harsh things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Jude 14-15. This is a glimpse into the elusive book of Enoch. Though it may only be canon in Ethiopian Bibles, it gives us a glimpse into Noah's world before the flood. Where the Bible only gives a brief view into that world, the book of Enoch paints a picture.
And it came to pass, when the sons of men had increased, that in those days there were born fair and beautiful daughters. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. And they said to one another, Come, let us choose for ourselves wives, from the children of men, and let us beget, for ourselves, children. And Semiaza, who was their leader, said to them, I fear that you may not wish this deed to be done, and that I alone will pay for this great sin. And they all answered him, and said, Let us all swear an oath, and bind one another with curses, so not to alter this plan, but to carry out this plan effectively. Then they all swore together, and all bound one another with curses to it. And they were, in all, 200, and they came down on Ardis, which is the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called the mountain Hermon because on it they swore and bound one another with curses. And these are the names of their leaders, Semiaza, who was their leader, Arakiel, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakiel, Osoel, Armaros, Bateriel, Ananel, Zachiel, Samsiel, Sateriel, Turiel, Yomiel, Sariel. These are the leaders of the 200 angels and of all the others with them. And they took wives for themselves, and everyone chose for himself one each. And they began to go into them and were promiscuous with them. And they taught them charms and spells, and they showed them the cutting of roots and trees. And they became pregnant and bore large giants. And their height was 3,000 cubits. These devoured all the toil of men, until men were unable to sustain them. And the giants turned against them in order to devour men. And they began to sin against birds, and against animals, and against reptiles, and against fish, and they devoured one another's flesh, and drank the blood from it. Then the earth complained about the lawless ones. And Azazel taught men to make swords, and daggers, and shields, and breastplates. And he showed them the things after these, and the art of making them, bracelets, and ornaments, and the art of making up the eyes, and of beautifying the eyelids, and the most precious stones, and all kinds of colored dyes. And the world was changed. And there was great impiety, and much fornication, and they went astray, and all their ways became corrupt. Amezerach taught all those who cast spells and cut roots, Armaros the release of spells, and Barakiel astrologers, and Kokabiel portents, and Tamiel taught astrology, and Azradel taught the path of the moon. And at the destruction of men they cried out, and their voices reached heaven. 1 Enoch chapters 6-8.